Today's video is sponsored by SpinFit. Now, if you're a fan of this channel, you know that I've said this a million times, but to get the most out of your earbuds, you really need to make sure that you're using the right ear tips. Well, luckily there's a company like SpinFit whose sole purpose is to create the best silicone ear tips that you can find. Let's say that you go out and you buy the brand new AirPods Pro. You want to make sure that you're getting the most out of that pricey investment. And I can say after using SpinFit's new CP1025 ear tips, which comes with the adapter to make sure that they work with the AirPods Pro, it makes a huge difference when it comes to audio. Now, it doesn't really matter which earbuds you buy. There are a ton of different styles, a ton of different sizes, all on their website. And if you're interested in checking that out, there will be a link in the description below. And again, I'd like to thank SpinFit for sponsoring today's video. Alright guys, so today's video is not really a review, but more of a first look at a very impressive pair of truly wireless earbuds, especially if you look at the specs. It's offering some really new things that I haven't seen yet. The pair we're going to look at is the Pamu Quiet. Now, Pamu has released some other earbuds in the past, and they always come out with a very interesting way to house the earbuds. The case itself is usually something that stands out, and I don't necessarily know the price of these yet. I think it's supposed to be around $100. In fact, I think it may actually be $100 on the dot. But we're going to check out the Pamu Quiet, see some of the specs, and see what it is they have to offer. Now, the first thing that I want to point out is this is labeled as being the world's first pair of truly wireless earbuds that's powered by dual chips. So this is using a Qualcomm 5124 chip, which is handling your connection, and it has aptX, AAC, and SBC playback, while also using an AMS 3460 chip, which is handling the noise canceling. Now, mine were actually in ambient mode out of the box, so I was at first thinking the noise canceling on these things suck, but that was because the ambient mode was allowing sound to come through. But once you press and hold the right earbud for 2 seconds, it switched over into ANC mode, and I can tell you, the ANC on these are pretty impressive. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's at Sony level yet, but it's pretty close, and given the fact that these may be $100 as opposed to $230, that's quite the price gap. Now, one thing I do want to say about ANC mode compared to ambient mode, because that's the only two modes that are on here, these definitely affect the battery life. Now, if you're going to use these full time with the ANC on, you're going to get 3.5 hours of battery life on the earbuds with 3 additional charges out of the case. So that would give you around 14 hours total if you're going to use them with ANC on, where if you use them in ambient mode, you're going to get 5 hours on the earbud with around 20 hours total using the case. But I'll go ahead and tell you now, there's really no point in using these in ambient mode unless you just want to hear your outside surroundings with your music, and the ANC mode is so good that I pretty much just wanted to leave it in that mode all the time. Now, as far as the IP rating on these, they do come in rated at IPX4, which is pretty much standard when it comes to noise canceling earbuds. You usually don't get noise canceling mixed with like an IPX7 waterproof rating. So this is a pair that you can easily go use if you're going to work out, or if you sweat, you're going to be fine. But this is definitely not a pair that you can submerge into water. Now, as far as what you're getting inside the box, you are getting the usual small, medium, and large silicone ear tips. You're also getting a carrying pouch. You also get a lanyard that you can clip onto the original case and just kind of wear it around your neck. And then you're getting a USB-C cable. Now, the case itself actually kind of reminds me of one of those old pocket watches, because where you clip the lanyard at the top, it actually has a push button that you push to have the case kind of pop open. There's no other way to open it other than pushing that button. Now, one huge plus about the case is it is a Qi wireless charging case. So this is one of those that you can come in, drop on any wireless charger, and it will start charging. And then also on the case, it actually has like an LED light ring around it, and that just lets you know that there's battery life left in the case. And then on the side, you can see your USB-C input for charging. Now, the first thing I noticed about the earbuds when I opened up the case is the size and the design of these. They reminded me a lot of the AirPods Pro. They have the shorter stem on them. They do use touch controls, and they allow you to control everything but volume control. So you have your play, pause, skipping your tracks forward, going backwards, and like I said earlier, you have the ability to switch these between ambient mode and noise canceling, but for some reason there's no volume control. I cannot figure out why companies leave this off, because that's one of the most important things with listening to earbuds. Now, as far as using them individually, you can use either the left or the right, and a huge plus here is it allows you to use them in mono mode. So if you're going to just use one earbud, all of your audio is going to be coming out of that single earbud. And then the microphones, I feel, are doing a really good job as far as picking up my voice for calls, because this has the CVC 8.0 technology, which means it's focusing in on my voice and trying to block out my surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. Alright guys, so here is a mic test using the Pamu Quiet. I think these do a very good job of representing my voice on how I feel like it actually sounds, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is a mic test with a crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's talk about the sound. And again, before I give you my opinion, I want you guys to be able to hear some samples. So definitely make sure to throw on your favorite pair of headphones or earbuds or whatever so that you can really grasp how these earbuds sound. But here are some samples for you to listen to here. So now that you guys have heard some samples, I want to be able to tell you my opinion on the sound. And I'm going to go ahead and say this is a very dynamic sounding earbud. It has bass that has a lot of punch to it, a lot of presence. But one thing that really impressed me about these was how clean and how bright the treble was. So it just felt like it was very tuned up to get you the most out of each frequency. I didn't feel like anything was left behind, and I picked up details very well, and I was still able to feel the impact of bass in an extreme punchy way. So this is a sound signature that I like, because with listening to music, I really want to get the most out of feeling drums, but also be able to hear the clarity of guitars and vocals. And this pair just kind of handled all genres very well. I didn't feel like it suffered when I listened to anything that's chaotic. I didn't feel like it lost anything in the mix. So if you're somebody that wants a flatter sound signature, this, in my opinion, is just not capable of that, because I feel like it is really trying to push up and give you the most out of your music. Now, as far as the sound stage and the sound imaging, again, this was something I was very impressed with. It felt fairly open, left me feeling like I was in a large size room, and then picking up details these handled with no problem. Now, as far as some of my cons with these, one is obviously the fact that it doesn't have volume control in the earbuds. Another thing I didn't like is the fact that the button is the only way to open these, so if anything happens to the button or it gets jammed, you're not going to be able to get to your earbuds. And then the only other complaint that I have is I feel like the ambient mode really doesn't do a whole lot for these, but the noise canceling is very good. And so I personally think for hopefully around the price of $100 to be able to get this kind of sound with this kind of noise canceling and features is very, very impressive. I really like the look of these. I really like the feel. And even though I'm not a huge fan of the stem style design, I do appreciate that it is a shorter stem. And I think this is going to be one of those products that a lot of people are going to be happy with. It's just a great alternative, especially if you're looking for noise canceling in earbuds. But guys, that's my video on the brand new Pamu Quiet. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, Make sure to stay tuned for more.